Panelists, let me read a quote which I think speaks to the bipartisan support the community centers have always had. This is what George W. Bush, President Bush, said in 2004, and I quote, "I think it's a wise use of taxpayer money to expand and increase the number of community health centers all across America. As a matter of fact, the goal I've set is every poor county in America has a community health center. It's much better if folks who need help get help at the community health center than in an emergency room or a local hospital. Not only do taxpayers save money, it's a more compassionate way to help people." End of quote. That is George W. Bush, 2004. Bush talked about expanding health centers to every low-income community in America. Today, we have medical deserts for almost 100 million Americans. Was Bush right in his desire to expand community health centers all across this country? Amanda, you want to take a shot at that?
Certainly. I appreciate you calling out the long history of bipartisan support for health centers, and I think he is right. I think health centers are poised to step up and do everything that they can to care for as many people as are in need. Our proposal focuses on reaching 40 million patients, but certainly I think health centers are up to the task. And I think, to be honest, Senator and members of the committee, it really will come down to the investment that's made, enabling them to do so. If we're talking about caring for 100 million Americans, which I think health centers could certainly scale to do with the appropriate investment, we would need to scale our proposal. It would be considerably more over year to year. But there has never been a time where I have seen health centers not meet the task. And I think where we are today, it has everything to do with the investment that is made to enable them.
Okay. Thanks very much. Let me ask Ms. Veer, in your testimony, you talked about keeping people out of the expensive emergency room care and getting them to a community health center. We're doing a little bit of that in Vermont as well. Is it your understanding that all across this country, people who do not have a medical home end up in emergency rooms and much more expensive care?
Greetings, friends. I have breaking news to share with you this Friday. Several advocacy groups are now urging that Congress reconsider key provisions, including the $80 billion funding boost to the Internal Revenue Service. This could lead to more funding for the Social Security Administration and other benefits. Many agree that this is very important as millions of older adults are living below the poverty line. My friends, please make sure that you watch until the end of this video. Also, in a video later today, I will be announcing 2 winners for the Walmart gift card giveaway. If you'd like to enter the weekly giveaway, friends, simply click and like several of my videos and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. My friends, the more videos that you watch and then comment on, the greater your chances of winning the giveaways. The office within the Internal Revenue Service that advocates on behalf of regular taxpayers has stated that the $80 billion funding boost for the agency that was passed last year is skewed too much towards enforcement and audits. The office added that this is not enough towards helping people file their taxes. Of the funding provided by Congress to the Internal Revenue Service over the next decade, as part of the Democrats' Inflation Reduction Act, $45.6 billion is set to go towards pursuing tax cheats with more audits and additional enforcement measures. The second biggest chunk of $25.3 billion is going towards general operation support. Only $3.2 billion is going to taxpayer services, which is a segment meant to help the IRS answer questions over the phone and deliver more reliable services. And only $4.8 billion is being given to the IRS to update its technology, which is famously out of date. Ahead of a more detailed breakdown of the allotments that Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen said would be coming in the next few weeks, the Taxpayer Advocate Group is saying these numbers do not make sense for families and businesses. Advocate Aaron Collins wrote in a blog post, "The Internal Revenue Service allocated the funds in a manner that does not address the needs of U.S. taxpayers, including individuals, families, and businesses." She also said the top tax administration priority right now should be to improve taxpayer service, especially after the struggles of the last few years. And to do that, the IRS needs more funding into taxpayer services. The taxpayer advocate may make recommendations to Congress, but cannot force Congress to change the policy. Republicans have been up in arms about the funding boost for the IRS, as well as a relatively small amount reserved for taxpayer services, compared to the enforcement and operational budgets. Senate Finance Committee ranking member Mike Crapo wrote in an op-ed, "Only $3.2 billion, under 4%, of the IRS funding influx will be dedicated to taxpayer services. Given Americans have long dealt with abysmal IRS service, the small funding for fixing IRS's customer service is indefensible." While it is important to the Internal Revenue Service to collect more money that is owed to the government, the remarks made this week by the Taxpayer Advocate Group indicate that the priority needs to be balanced with an acceptable level of service to tax filers. So, dear friends, what are your thoughts about the $80 billion funding boost to the Internal Revenue Service? Please let me know what your thoughts are in the comments section below. In January, one of the biggest cost of living adjustments to Social Security in the program's history went into effect. With the 8.7% increase, monthly checks sent out to beneficiaries are, on average, about $146 more than they were in 2022. Though the extra money was sorely needed to help seniors help pay for necessities during record high inflation, many have said it is not enough. Adding to that now, during critical tax time, is the fact that COLAs have historically never been applied to adjusting the threshold, which determines if Social Security beneficiaries will need to pay taxes. With more money from the COLAs and more seniors look for part-time work just to make ends meet, more are tipping over into the threshold requirement for paying the government. That is because up to 85% of Social Security can be taxed depending upon how much a beneficiary makes in provisionary income through wages and other assets like mutual bonds. For individuals with provisionary income above $25,000 and joint filers above $32,000 a year, up to 50% of their Social Security income is taxed. For individuals with provisionary income above $34,000 and joint filers above $44,000, up to 85% of Social Security benefits will be taxed. As USA Today pointed out, these guidelines have been made the same since 1984 and 1993 and have been a gross inequity that is hurting many seniors. My dear friends, what are your thoughts about all of this? Please let me know what your thoughts are in the comments section below. Well, my amazing and wonderful friends, that is the end of my daily stimulus update video for today. Thank you, dear friends, for being part of this community. I will be announcing 2 winners for the Walmart gift card giveaway in a video later. Please make sure, friends, that you enter the giveaway by clicking and liking several of my videos, and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. My friends, the more videos that you watch and then comment on, the greater your chances of winning the giveaways. Thank you and have a wonderful and very blessed Friday.